The people of New York call Hope Hicks. Folks, Hope Hicks took the stand. She's testified today. She's Donald Trump's former campaign press secretary, Donald Trump's former communications director. She worked at the White House from 2017 and 2018, and then she worked there again in 2020 and 2021. She was there during the insurrection. She hasn't spoken to Donald Trump in a few years, and her testimony was absolutely devastating to Donald Trump. From what we hear, she was not looking at Donald Trump at all during her testimony. She passed him by. They never made eye contact with each other. Towards the end of her testimony on direct examination, before Donald Trump's lawyer began cross-examination, she started to break down in tears after what she testified to. And here is what she testified to, folks, that Donald Trump had told her that Michael Cohen had made a payment on his behalf to Stormy Daniels in order to help Donald Trump in connection with the campaign. Donald Trump claimed that Michael Cohen was just doing it because he wanted to be friendly. Hope Hicks testified that she did not believe Donald Trump. She testified that Michael Cohen is not a charitable person and that she obviously believed that he was doing it on his behalf. She realized the import of her words. She realized that saying that was a Perry Mason moment that would bury Donald Trump at this trial, connecting it the way she did. Trump's awareness of what Cohen was doing, Trump's falsification of business records, and she started breaking down in tears, crying before cross-examination commenced. Just take a look at everything that went down. But here's how Andrew Weissman described it: a coup de grace from Hicks. Hicks says that Donald Trump told her Michael Cohen on his own paid Stormy Daniels to protect him. So Trump eventually learned of the hush money payoffs on this telling of it, which means later Donald Trump labeling reimbursement payments to Michael Cohen as legal fees would be false. Falsification of business records. Bonus, Hope Hicks said that it would not be like Michael Cohen to make payments on behalf of to make payments to Stormy Daniels out of the goodness of his heart and to not take credit for it. Again, devastating testimony. Adam Klasfeld's in the courtroom. KFA is in the courtroom. Multiple prosecutors who we've been communicating with, in addition to KFA, are in the courtroom. We have this from every angle, folks. Here's what Adam Klasfeld says. Trump trial news. The people call Hope Hicks. Court officer. Witness enters. Hope Hicks shows up. Hope Hicks takes the stand and raises her right hand and is sworn in. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Hope Hicks says, I do, before settling in. She says that she's nervous. She says that she's afraid, but she begins her testimony. She talks about how she was a teenage model before following in her father's footsteps, ultimately to be in the communications field. How about 4 years after graduating from college, she started working in the Trump organization. And then that led her to become a press secretary for Donald Trump's campaign. Hicks talked about the Trump organization's structure. She said, everyone who works there at the Trump organization in some sense reports to Donald Trump. Even if it's a big and successful company, it operates like a small family business, she says. Questioning pivots to Hope Hicks' media work for the Trump campaign. Question: did you speak to Mr. Trump in your role as the press secretary? Answer: every day. As Adam Klasfeld says, Hope Hicks dents any notion that Trump was somehow out of the loop of anything in terms of public communication. Hope Hicks testifies. Donald Trump knew what he wanted to say and how he wanted to say it. We were always following his lead. Question: did you send text messages for the campaign? Answer: yes. And did you receive text messages too? Answer: yes. They then showed her an email from the Wall Street Journal requesting comment from Donald Trump. Questions: did Mr. Trump have an extramarital affair with Karen McDougal? Was he or anyone close to him aware or involved in this contract between AMI and Miss McDougal when the Wall Street Journal found that out? Hope Hicks forwards that to Jared Kushner, whom she wanted to press the matter with Rupert Murdoch, the owner of the Wall Street Journal. Then Hicks talks about a conversation that she had with Donald Trump, who at that time was in office, he was the president, and he said that Michael Cohen, as she says this, she sighs, he said that Michael Cohen had paid this woman, Stormy Daniels, to protect him from false allegations. Trump told her that Cohen did so from the kindness of his own heart and that he didn't tell anyone that it had happened, she says. But she says she did not buy it. She did not believe it. She said that would be very out of character for Michael Cohen. I didn't know Michael Cohen to be an especially charitable person or a selfless person. He's the kind of person that seeks credit. Let me show you this right here. This is from Lawrence O'Donnell, who's been in the courtroom. He describes this moment as then Hope Hicks, after burying Donald Trump with that testimony, walks past him. They don't look at each other. Here, play this clip.
Today, we actually had what may be a meaningful moment of that kind of observation. And it was right at the end, as we broke for lunch, when witness Hope Hicks was leaving the witness stand. And she walked by Donald Trump within less than an arm's reach from each other. And neither one of them looked at the other. Donald Trump made sure that he was busy talking to Todd Blanche, and Hope Hicks very deliberately avoided any regard at Donald Trump, any look at him. It wasn't like David Pecker's smile to the defense table when he walked by. That's allowed. You know, there's nothing wrong with Hope Hicks saying hi to her former boss as she walks by the table, or nodding or smiling. That's all available within the normal kind of behavior of that courtroom in that moment. But there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing between those two. Maybe that'll change. Maybe there'll be another moment where they exchange some kind of silent human contact, but not today. It didn't happen when they broke for lunch.
And Hope Hicks and Donald Trump had not really been in communication, following the insurrection. Recall that she was there as the White House communications director from 2017 to 2018, then stopped working there. She came back 2020 to 2021, so she was there during the insurrection. Remember, she testified as well before the January 6th committee. Here's what she testified to. Play the clip.
Testimony.
When you wrote, I suggested it several times, and it presumably means that the president say something about being nonviolent. You wrote, I suggested it several times Monday and Tuesday, and he refused. Tell us what happened.
Sure. I didn't speak to the president about this directly, but I communicated people like Eric Hirschman that it was my view that it was important that the president put out some kind of message in advance of the event.
And what was Mr. Hirschman's response?
Mr. Hirschman said that he had made the same, recommendation directly to the president, and that he had refused.
Just so I understand, Mr. Hirschman said that he had already recommended to the president that the president convey a message that people should be peaceful on January 6th, and the president had refused to do that?
Yes.
That was Hope Hicks, of course, from her testimony before the January 6th committee. Now I'm getting messages from prosecutors, from people in the office. Again, they're reiterating that was a Perry Mason moment, as big of a Perry Mason moment that you will ever see in a white collar case. Others are telling me how she broke down crying. It was one of the most powerful sights ever seen in a court and trial in my career. Another prosecutor tells me this was a bombshell moment, folks. We'll see what the jury makes of it. Look, on cross-examination, Donald Trump's lawyer, Emil Bowe, tried to act like, well, Cohen's known to go rogue. He's known to create issues. That's where they were going with the cross. But ultimately, you have Hope Hicks connecting Donald Trump to the knowledge that the payment was made. And then ultimately what the jury's going to see in a little bit. Here's the check. Take a look. I mean, there's, I think, 11 separate checks that were paid to Cohen. and many of them were signed by Donald Trump himself, like this check to Michael Cohen relating to this. Also at this time, you had Donald Trump saying that Michael Cohen was a great lawyer, a respected lawyer. Here's what Donald Trump said after these hush money payments were made. Trump applauded Cohen. Here, play this clip.
And by the way, we just found out I was coming down. Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen is a very talented lawyer. He's a good lawyer in my firm.
Wow, folks, this was big. We will keep you posted with more. But Hope Hicks, Karen Friedman Agnifilo predicted how important her testimony was going to be yesterday and this morning, you'll recall, on our coverage. But this was a big, big moment, folks. We'll keep you updated with more knowledge, with more information as we gain, increasing and improving all the knowledge that you have about the Trump criminal trial. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.